Hi, welcome to this edition of the Common Sense Defense Podcast. My name is Ptolemy Brute. I'll be your host today. I am excited to be talking about AUKUS, which is the Australia, United Kingdom, United States Trilateral Defense Agreement. And I want to talk to you today about drones, and more drones. And I'm really excited about the collaboration that the United States has worked over the last few years with Australia in developing the air teaming system. So Boeing has worked with the Royal Australian Air Force and in developing the uh, air teaming system, the Boeing Airpower Teaming System, and it is now called the MQ-28 Ghost Bat. But at the time, for the years that Boeing was working with Australia, and Australia was working with Boeing to develop that at the Woomera Test Range, which is in South Australia. Woomera Test Range is like our Groom Lake. It's like this large land area that you can test missiles and rockets and aircraft at, and it's secret and it's all lined up perfectly to track aircraft and test vehicles, and it has all the facilities there. Woomera is just like our Area 51 Groom Lake Edwards Air Force Base administered facility out in the United States, and we have developed the MQ-28 there. I amazingly the MQ-28, which the Ghost Bat, and the MQ-25 were both made by Boeing. And you can actually look at the pictures of them. The vertical stabilizers that are canted out, they look very similar. You can see some of the similarities in the platform, although the MQ-25 is like 2 or 3 times larger. The air teaming system that was developed with Australia has interchangeable nose components. So the body, the fuselage, everything is the same, but the nose, you can trade them out to different things. So you can do ISR capability, infrared search and track system. You can do you can use as a laser designator in front. You can use intelligence capability. You can do all kinds of things, changing out the nose cone. And I believe the weight that it carries is about a couple thousand pounds. So all of the brain power that the MQ-28 air teaming system works, all the brain power that it has can be switched out through putting on different nose cones. And I think that is a unique platform. And so for about 3 or 4 years, Australia worked with Boeing in secrecy, in developing this platform, and so now we have a platform that is going to be really quite awesome moving forward 2025, 2026. Now, the loyal wingman. So the air power teaming system came out like the loyal wingman kind of concept, where you have a plane that's flying, and it has one or two or more platforms that it collaborates and works with. The manned platform is a primary platform, but it has drones working with it, team with it to accomplish missions. So the MQ-28 will send out have drones that go out in front of the fighter, or go next to it, or wherever, or go out far ahead 200 or 300 miles and take pictures or take ISR and get information about what's going on ahead of it, and send that information back for the fighter to be able to make decisions off of that. They also can queue up targets, and I think when you're looking at being able to change out the nose, the nose cones with different capabilities, that's the beauty of the MQ-28, is that whatever the mission requires, then that platform could do it. So if you had needed to go into an anti-air capability, and you had the MQ-28 carrying infrared search and track radar capability, or electro-optical capability, where it can see what's going on passively, it can send the information back 100, 200 miles back to the fighter. That fighter could queue up and start and send down range a missile to strike a target before it is in the radar envelope of the enemy. So what you're getting is you're getting a situation where you're getting an environment that has more capability and protection for the manned system, and that's just an harbinger for what's going to happen in the future. The future is going to be all of that. It's going to be that's how the unmanned teaming system goes now. In the future, it's going to be one manned platform with 10, 20, or 30 different uh, unmanned drones. And the manned platform will give cues and clearance, man in the loop clearance for all those platforms to do their mission. And in essence, when it's all of a said and done, you will have a 1 to 25 or 1 to 50 management ratio. And then, even in managing those off-board systems, that will be autonomous. So it will be a manned platform flying towards doing a mission, having 25 or 50 platforms doing different jobs, and it will be one man giving the go-ahead and clearance to do that. So this is a step in that direction. This is a step in the future, and quite honestly, that's how it's gonna be. Now let's look at Boeing and the MQ-25. Same kind of concept. The MQ-25 is also called the T1. It's a tanker, and it is designed to refuel fighters off of an aircraft carrier. And so if it will replace the F-18 tanker version, and it has a refueling capability, and it can refuel, I think, about 15,000 pounds it carries of fuel. And so that plane will be able to refuel 4 or 5 planes that are out there. It will extend the range of the F-35C, and it will also extend the range of the F-18s. So that's the beauty of having an unmanned system. And I think a little bit about the future, and I look at, even in the book that I wrote, China Rising: The Case for Containment, it talks about how we can use those unmanned platforms distributed throughout the Indo-Pacific at bases, and the ability to be able to project those forward to do their mission outside of even using them in teaming with aircraft. Those planes, those drones, the MQ-25, the MQ-28, those drones can all be used autonomously, just like we use the MQ-9 Reaper or what have you. And so that's the future. The future is unmanned platforms doing the job of distance, the tyranny of distance. Then that tyranny will be taken down, because you no longer have to have a man sitting there in a cockpit for 20 hours as it traverses the Pacific, or go to different areas in the Pacific and the Indo-Pacific to do a mission. ISR, or communications, or surveillance. It doesn't have to be a human being sitting in the seat to do that. You use a drone with communications back to headquarters, and then obviously getting the information. So that's where we are. And so, in working with Australia, and working with in South Australia at the Woomera plant research facility, Boeing really knocked it off the ballpark as it relates to the future of drone warfare and drone operations, and so it's really exciting to see how that pans out. So now let's look at the ability to push forward presence. So, all right, so what's the next step? So Australia, yes, they ordered 10, 15 MQ-28s. That's the first step. But then it's, how do you team the MQ-28 with the Australian F-35? And so, and yes, from a search perspective, you can have an F-35 200 or 300 miles away from Darwin, searching out for possible cruise missiles or something coming in, and it can send the MQ-28 forward to do more research, to do more surveillance. So it is multiplying the ability for the Australian F-35 and getting more airspace, and being able to increasing its search volume. If Australia wanted to deploy its fleet forward to do freedom of navigation, and it needed to send F-35s forward and have them refueled, it can also provide air cover for freedom of navigation from a couple hundred miles away or a couple thousand miles away with the right infrastructure in place. It can usually do that through F-35s, and it also can use the MQ-28 on long-range surveillance and air top cover for freedom of navigation. Yes, using a drone that is refueled from 3,000 miles away is going to be a normal thing. So imagine an Australian frigate doing a freedom of navigation mission right there in the South China Sea, and it has 4 or maybe 8 MQ-28 Ghost Bats above doing ISR, maybe a couple maybe armed with a refueling capability, and it covered. They have air coverage for the whole freedom of navigation capability, for freedom of navigation operation. So that's what you look at when you bring online the ability to fuse manned and unmanned platforms, not just air to air, but ground to air, surface ships to air. That's what you're gaining bringing in these systems. And really, that's really what I want to leverage in the future is all those bases that we have in the Indo-Pacific, being able to land 4 or 6 or 8 drones on those bases, and forward and providing forward presence, leaning forward harder. Those are the capabilities. Those are the technologies that we're going to be leveraging to substantiate that capability, that deterrent. And so that's the future. And so that's what we're looking at now using drones. It's no longer the drones that fly 200 or 300 miles per hour with stubby wings like the MQ-9, and which we appreciate, the Reaper. But those days are pretty much over. Now we're getting high subsonic speed, stealth capability, using laser and electro-optical communications so it's not detected. Being able to be refueling capabilities to drones so they can stay on station longer. Drone to drone refueling. That's already has happened as well. Drone to drone mid-air refueling. So that's the future. Being able to have an environment that you can leverage all the latest technologies to give you more lethality, more ISR capability, more refueling capability and range for your platforms. That's the future. And all of that has to work together so that we can get a better picture of the battle space, so that we know how to save more resources, utilize our resources effectively, and also provide lethality if that were to come to pass, that we have to use lethality to handle any type of situation. So those are the things that you get from having a system like the MQ-28 and the airpower teaming system that Australia and the United States work together. So those are the things that we can expect. The fruit of that research is what we can now expect. And so we work with our friends. We appreciate our friends. And we really have an eye towards the future, that things are going to be more clear, because you'll be able to have more pieces out there, more presence out there to get the information that you need to make better decisions. And so, yeah, so that's where we are. That's our future. That's a product of us working with our friends and allies. And I think AUKUS is going to bring us a whole lot of tools and surprises, just like the Airpower Teaming System and the MQ-28. That's what we're going to get. As a fruit of that is that we've worked together, and I think we're going to see a whole lot of that moving forward into the next 5 or 6 years. So hey, we appreciate you. We appreciate you taking the time to spend time with us talking about drones and the MQ-28 and also the MQ-25. Hey, you have a great time and a great day today, and we'll talk to you really soon.